Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will dive in the 4 eccentric habits that we don't see often. So you could manipulate these habits onto your personal preference. I chose these habits because I believe that they help me a lot and I don't see people often do it. So the video title suits all these habits today. So these habits will bring you 365% more improved than the version you are today. So from this year to next year, because you have 365 days, you're improving by 1%. So make sure you implement the knowledge I've said today so that you could exponentially get more work done in less time. This video is actually kind of influenced and inspired by my editor because she needs to get work done but she doesn't know how. So hopefully this video will help because I believe this is what I do in order to get more things done in less time. So let's get right into it. So the first habit is create urgency by setting up time constraints. So let's say you have a project, set up a 1 hour time. Let's say that project usually would take 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now you can finish this project in 1 hour if you set up the time constraint, because now you're forcing your brain to be like, okay, shoot, I have to conform to this time constraint. Let me actually try and make it up to this deadline that you place yourself in. I don't like the Pomodoro, but it's similar to that. But the Pomodoro I find is very interruptive, so you could do the Pomodoro, which is basically 25-minute focused work, then followed by a 5-minute break, and you continue doing that until you're finished with the task. But I believe that type of method of working is really obstructive. It bothers you because 25 minutes for me is when I'm just entering the state of optimal concentration, and I get myself easily concentrated, especially when I've deleted all social media except like Discord and YouTube. That's what I use the most. Other than that, I deleted almost everything. That's literally the only social media app I have, which contributed to my high focus. And I feel like 25 minutes is like, it's too small for me. I usually extend it to an hour. So, for example, let's say you get 1 hour and 30, now you get it down to 1 hour. First off, you're doing things more efficiently. Quality has not been sacrificed at all whatsoever, and time has been saved. So, it's all around great. Speed, for me, is the cardinal #1 rule. The second habit is restraining your anger. This one is actually pretty different and fits right perfectly for the theme of the video. Probably wondering, how does reducing and restraining anger help contribute to greater work capabilities? I'll tell you, when you get angry, it comes into a form of a thought which is triggered by something of the external. So maybe someone pissed you off because someone ripped you off your money and you knew you shouldn't have paid it, but you did it regardless. Now you got scammed. So that's literally the same thing. You get pissed because something pissed you off in the external, and now the thought came in, now like, okay, now you're thinking about it, now it makes you pissed. Now, you have the choice to verbalize and actively show your anger, but when you restrain that anger, you force yourself to see your thought in third person. Now, you don't respond to anger the same way you would. Instead of just reacting to your impulse so quickly, now you actually decide, okay, let me just not be angry. Let me just actually try and stay calm. Like that. The reason why this is so effective is because anger comes in the form of thought, then it transforms into action. So thought and then action. Every single time you restrain yourself from getting angry, what happens is that there's a gap that forms. Every single time you get angry, gap. Then this space that is formed is called self-awareness. And self-awareness actually opens many possibilities. The possibility of increasing your intuition, which comes from your subconscious mind. For example, when you get a thought from out of the blue, something just feels off, and people usually say, listen to your gut instinct. That comes from your subconscious mind. And you get a greater self-awareness capability when you're able to be more intuitive, and that comes from restraining your anger. You're able to see that thought instead of just reacting to that thought immediately. That disallows you from being truly self-aware. And second, when you're self-aware, you are more creative, that process, and that helps me a lot in terms of coming up with YouTube ideas. When I restrain my anger, that anger doesn't hold any strength upon me. So every single time I do get angry, I can restrain myself, and I'm like, okay, what are productive ways to at least calm myself down? And every single time I calm myself down, I don't have this anger pull me down. It's not consuming a part of my mind. I can literally zoom out, and I'm like, okay, I'm in Zen mode, and now I have space to think instead of letting that engulf into wrath. Now, the third habit is called workflow optimization. Workflow optimization is absolutely key, in my opinion. So workflow optimization basically means, let's actually break this down. Workflow means the steps required to attain a specific goal. And optimization means improving. So if you fit them two in the same word, they mean reaching a desired goal through steps that can be improved upon for efficiency. For example, let's say I want to do my homework. Yeah, I could be one of them people, sit down, do the actual homework. But how about we optimize this workflow instead of doing my homework? Let's say the teacher is saying it, because I don't usually do my homework. I don't see any point of doing so if you're just studying well. Homework is like an extra burden. Sometimes, it happens that you got other things to do, so you can't really do the homework, especially math homework. That's like, it's too much for me. So usually I just don't do homework, and what I do is I use ChatGPT. And don't lie, almost everybody uses ChatGPT in that manner. There's nothing wrong with it to admit it. And that's what I use to optimize my workflow. I continuously try to find ways into doing my homework faster, and ChatGPT is a way to make things go super, super quick. That's a form of optimizing my workflow. Not just on a short take, but you can use this in literally any endeavor at all. For example, let's say you want to do emails. You could use ChatGPT to be like, could you write me a professional email? Boom. In 2 seconds, email pops in. You can say, give me multiple alternatives. Boom. Gives me 4 options. Like that. Very simple. And that's a form of optimizing workflow. So, that being said, yeah. And the fourth habit is observing and manipulating your environment. This is absolutely key. I've done this at a weekly or even at a daily. This is absolutely key, because your environment is where your mind inhabits. And for example, this is my room, right? You see, this is where I'm recording. I would love to have my room with less distracting items. Like, say, if there's a phone that's distracting me and it's really probing on my temptation, take the phone, put it somewhere else. Because when you have that temptation that enters your mind, you've already lost half the battle. Now all that's left is you need to rely upon willpower, which never works. I've already had a previous video that actually states this uselessness on willpower and how to actually build strong discipline. You can look at on the suggested videos that's gonna pop in somewhere. But watch that video if you want to learn how to have a better discipline. And so, that being said, workflow optimization is absolutely key. And that being said, that's something that you've never heard of before. And the reason why I do this workflow optimization and I observe my environment in order to make it more focused oriented, because the more things you have, the less you're capable of focusing. Because whatever you have, for example, if you have that stash of paper, yes, you probably got used to it and now you can work like that. But take it out. See what it feels like. It feels different because it's something you really wanted. It relieves your cognitive load. Everything you have here, it weighs less on you because you've just took out a burden, which is something that looks not very organized, which hits your mind. It's like, I want this place to be organized. It always is a good thing. There's no bad side of organizing stuff. It always helps you in some form. I'm always moderately organized in how I make YouTube videos and everything. If you want to watch that video, There's a suggested video somewhere in those two. You can also watch that one. But regardless, I have my objective to 100 subscribers, and I know I will make it because I had to sacrifice my school lunches to make that happen. And I think that with all the times that I've seen, I think this is the moment. I think the more you sacrifice, the more you triumph. And I will make it to 100 subscribers, and I know it's going to happen. I need your help because you're in my journey also. So I need you to press the subscribe button because that will absolutely help me a lot. And if you've gained any value at all, if you want more value, make sure you check out the next video. I'll see you later.